What the F? Here it is. Sorry about this, everybody. We are getting started. Just a little technical difficulties.
We're good.
Let's go. All right. Here we are. Lucky number 13 on the episode tonight. We have a wonderful Thursday night football slate. Looking at two teams kind of trying to gather themselves after getting a little bit of a jab there, you could say. Both in different conferences. I think it's going to be an interesting Thursday night football. As always, Evan and Iggy bringing it to you. Evan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you, Iggy. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Yeah, man, another week of football. Here we go. So back to Thursday night, Bills, Bucks. I don't know. It feels like a get right spot for the Bills, but the inconsistency of this team, is just, raises some questions, but we'll get into it, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Good, man. Woke up in a great mood. I couldn't get much sleep. And sometimes it's weird how when you sleep less, you feel better. I don't know. That's a weird thing, kind of thing. But I'm feeling good. Got a lot to do today, as always. But we got the bets laid out. We got some bets happening for tonight, as usual. Keep in mind, don't want to go crazy on Thursday night football. I lost a little under a unit last week. Do you know how you finished, Evan, or what's going on right there with your bets from last week?
I think with everything I put out, I was actually right under a unit that I lost too. I ended up pretty even on the week with everything I played individually, but everything I put out, I know we didn't put out as much last week as we usually do. But yeah, I think I was at 0.8 on a negative there. So no big deal. I think still right around plus 10 on the season. So
let's see. Yeah, I mean, add it up real quick because I was actually looking at the wrong week. 1.77, and then another one, so 2.77, and I won 2.65. So actually, I lost a 0.1 of a unit, still 1.2 units ahead on my end. Evan, you're still probably somewhere right around 10 units up on the season as well, correct?
Yep, right around that mark. So I got to upload these today for when we're done. I will have some more out on Sunday this week. Last week I was a little quiet on the ones I gave out. I'm always giving them out, on my X. You follow that feed, put on those noties, you can see the bets I put out on there too. So
absolutely, yeah. We got Evan's pretty good about getting our Spotify. I do want to remind everybody we're hoping to do this tomorrow at noon as well. Correct? Or noon Eastern. Correct, Evan?
Yeah, going to get some NBA action rolling. So now we're a little busier with some NBA action and some NFL action, on similar days. A couple NBA games tonight that I'm sure we both have a little action in as well. So excited to get that going. Episode 1 tomorrow, noon Eastern, same spot, same place. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, man. It looks like I said, we try to keep this brief, realize out there on the East Coast, getting on your lunch break, it's all hustle bustle. We're a little bit more kickback out here on the West. We still got our hustle and bustle a little bit later of a times usually. But we've looked at some good bets, man. I actually have 3 bets per usual, but one of them's a basketball bet. I'll just start with my favorite prop I found. I was looking at the defensive props, man, and I really wanted to say lay Levante David. I mean, he's had 10 tackles, 13 tackles, 12 tackles, but his line's at 8.5. And that's not easy. You're going to have to earn 9 tackles against this Buffalo offense. And I'm not so sure that they're just going to cover the spread. I have a lot of doubts about this game coming into this game. It should just be, 3 weeks ago, it was all the Bills, the best team there is out there. Look what they can do, and then they're kind of getting to that hypercritical stage, or Josh Allen's kind of getting to that hypercritical stage of his career right now. But my favorite prop I found is Mike Evans over 58.5 yards receiving. Or is it 48? No, yeah, it's 58. And he's gone all over that over in all games but 2 this year. Okay, they don't have Tre'Davious White. They don't have Jordan Poyer or Micah Hyde. I should know that off the top of my head. I'm blanking on it. They don't have a starting safety. They're missing Matt Milano, one of their better coverage linebackers. So I just kind of think Mike Evans could be due for a big game. If the script is going as the books, as the algorithm tell us it should go, Buffalo should be up by a lot. I mean, there's a huge spread on this game. We forgot to cover that. Let me get that ready real quick too. But if that narrative is true, I don't see how they're not passing the whole game. Rashid White has barely gotten over 60 yards rushing, I think, like once. So they're not going to just like, rush their way back into this, Evan. I just don't see that happening. But that's what I found to be the best prop. I got a little bit of a boost on up to like a 0.2 unit. So I went ahead and put the rest of 0.3 on the regular. I put the other 0.4 unit up on the boost. I put the regular, the rest of the 0.6 on top of that too to give me a full unit, and it returns just under a unit. It's at negative 115 with that little bit of a boost. I got it pretty much near evens. Yeah, the spread's 9 points. I just didn't want to lie to anybody. The spread's 9 points, but the over under is 43.5. Something to me is not computing. The Bills are negative 425 on the money line with plus 330 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's my favorite prop I found of the night, Evan. What do you got as far as what's going on tonight?
Yeah, there's not too much value in the money line there. I mean, Allen, I think, is 17 or 18-1 straight up at home against the spread. But like I said, I like Buffalo in this game. It's a little scary because of who they've been. They're 4-3. They're coming off a loss to the Giants, coming off a loss to the Patriots. That was a division game on the road. Top quarterback struggle against New England. I think that it's a week-to-week league in the NFL. I'm not going to let that deter me too much in this matchup. I don't think the Bucs are as good as they've been. I think that they too have lost 2 in a row. Was a division game against Atlanta last week at home. I think they've lost 3 games at home. They've been better on the road, which they're going to Buffalo. But Bills Mafia is going to be loud. It's going to be hostile. I mean, it's a fun kind of game to go to. So I like Buffalo in this game tonight. I would not be surprised if they win this game by double digits. I think the 8.5 there it's not really my play that I'm saying. I just am saying the 8.5 to me is in play. I think they'll be able to throw the ball all day. I think they'll be able to stop Tampa. I do like the Bills over 8.5, but I guess I'll start with some defense then today, since you went with an offensive prop.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Leonard Floyd to get a sack tonight. It's plus 100 for him to have a sack in this game. He's got 6.5 sacks on the season. Buffalo, I think, is 4th in sacks as a team. Tampa is the 2nd most in giving up sacks throughout the NFL so far. You just put that combination together, I think that Floyd's going to get after Baker. He holds onto the ball a little too long sometimes. Plus money there for a sack. Yeah, give me a defensive sack tonight for Leonard Floyd. Hype up that Bills Mafia. Get that place rolling. Maybe on a 3rd down into a punt.
Hey, I would love that. I got him in my Kings Classic League and definitely need a win in that league. I'm the bottom half right now. That's not how you get to the playoffs, that's for sure. I didn't realize the Bucs had given up that many stats. To be honest with you, I don't think I've seen more than highlights from the Bucs this year. Just a team I haven't focused on. Maybe that's part of my hesitation. But I looked at Mike Evans' stats. I know Baker Mayfield. He's going to sling it. Like, that's just who he is. He has no fear as far as that aspect goes. So I love it right there. I'll probably go place that as soon as we get out of here. Just to have my root on my guy and, 2nd most sacks. That's a lot because I think there's a lot of teams that have been giving up sacks now. Justin Fields. I mean, what's his name? Whoever's at Tennessee. Whoever's back there, yeah. Yeah, dude. So Tampa Bay to be in that number. Baker does like to make that play, though, so he does hold on to the ball longer. Very valid point you got right there, man. All right, let me pull back up my other bet. This is the same game parlay. I only put a quarter unit on it because I get $10 back if I'm not successful with it. Okay. So with that in mind, I went kind of bold. Okay. The Bills have been in a slump. Now you can say what you want. The emotional heartbeat of the Buffalo Bills is without question Stephon Diggs. Okay. Like, to me, there's no 2 ways about that, my friend. So what I've done is I've made us a Diggs triple burger same game parlay, my friend. And I went all out on this, okay? So I went Diggs over 99.5 yards. I'm going to say he's going to have a 100-yard game. I'm going to say he's going to have over 5.5 receptions. I kept the reception total low because he can make a big play. He usually gets separation and gets Josh Allen a pretty good little area to throw the ball to. But every once in a while, he just busts out. And maybe if they're up a lot in the fourth quarter, they don't run the ball. I mean, they don't pass the ball. They run it. They put Latavius Murray in there. They put James Cook in there, and they just try to get this clock out and get this first victory in a while. Okay, if that's the case, that's why I didn't tease up the reception line. Okay, I did tease up the yardage. All right, and then here's where it really gets really kind of risky: a touchdown in each half of the game, my friend. So each half of the game, he has to score a touchdown. Can be any quarter, could be the first pass, could be the last pass, doesn't matter, okay? So that quarter unit, if it hits, returns 2.6 units in some change, my friend. 2.6 units in some change from a 0.25 unit. I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling kind of lucky lately. NBA's here. It's really changed my viewing towards my betting. But yeah, that's my three-leg, threefold, whatever you want to call, same game parlay, quarter unit. So even if you're not getting that, money back, like not asking you to spend a whole lot here to be able to get 2.6 units back. Okay. What about you, Evan? What do you got? What do you got next for us? Got a prop? I know you said.
Love it. Yeah, definitely got a prop for you. I'll stay right there. Stephon Diggs is the guy, man. I mean, the Bucs have allowed 10 players to have 50 or more yards receiving. They've allowed monster plays through the air. They've had 4 guys over 100 yards, and I believe 3 of them were over $120. They were studs, right? Well, Stephon Diggs is a stud. He is a 100-yard machine. Last week, he only had, I think, 58 yards. He had 12 targets. New England's in the top half of pass defense. And again, division game on the road.
Yep.
That was a script that, we had talked about. It was Allen struggling in that game, and not the Bills losing, but, Allen struggling in that game offensively, and that kind of unfolded there. So, I mean, Diggs is at 87.5. Had to hit the over on that big time. I can see that 100-yard game as well. I just can't see him not getting those 10-plus targets. Even if Tampa gets in there, Diggs can get you beat deep. He can get the ball quick in the slant. They use him so much. Allen knows he's the guy. It's become a thing in Buffalo. We've seen last year and the year before some times where maybe Diggs didn't get targeted. We don't see that anymore. It's Diggs, Diggs, Diggs all the time, like you see with Devontae Adams, like you see with Cooper Kupp. Like that's how it should be, and that's what it is. So I love Diggs today. And on the other side, I also like Gabe Davis. For the record, I'm not a Gabe Davis guy. I'm not a boomer bust fan. He's kind of been that player. But again, that stat with 10 or more receivers of 50-plus, his line is at 39.5. He's a big play guy. Primetime games, the Bills have opened up deep passes to him so many times. He might break that on the first play of the game. I just can see that happening too. I love how you said late in the game, the passing might not be there, but you got to get to that point. So a team that gives up, multiple 300-yard passers, a team that gives up 260 yards through the air, a team that needs to get right in the Buffalo Bills that like to throw the ball. Give me Allen to sling it to his 2 guys out there. No Dawson Knox tonight. Tampa's been pretty good against tight ends. I know there's a lot of Dalton Kincaid love out there. I'm sure he can still get his too. We saw Hawkinson light up a San Francisco defense that's great against tight ends. So that doesn't always go to mold, but, there's enough for everybody to go around tonight. So give me Diggs over 87.5. Give me Gabe Davis over 39.5. I do have those separately. I myself have a little parlay with those 2 and an anytime touchdown for both guys. Touchdown for each, the yards for each. It's plus 980. I only did a quarter unit there as well. So almost plus 1,000 on that. Love to see that one hit. So
yeah, me too. That is a good one, man. That is a good call. So we're on Josh Allen. And real quick, I just want to give some people maybe an update because Evan and I, sometimes we do jump lines. No fault to anybody, but, sometimes the lines do change. I do have Gabriel Davis over 39.5 right now at -125, and Stephon Diggs 85.5 yards, -125 on DK. So, if you're using that book, that's available to you.
Diggs has dropped down. Diggs has gone down from 87. He was 86 to open, 87, and now down to 85, which I find a little surprising.
They're probably what they did is they moved it back to -125 instead of probably a traditional -110 or -115. Probably trying to absorb some of that blow that they're getting put in on this over money. I did see that. I think it was 83% of the money is on Buffalo tonight. So very interesting there. Since we're so high on Josh Allen, let's see what they got for him for his passing touchdowns. Like I said, I only have one more NBA bet. But Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns is at -166. Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns is at +165. I think I think the line is off a little bit. I'm just being honest with you because they're not adjusting for the fact that Buffalo's defense, one side of their defense, is decimated. All right, Von Miller hasn't been able to step it up yet, so he hasn't. It's been basically like you said, Floyd. Epinaza had a really good game, but outside of that, it's been Floyd. So we're going to see. I think that there's something up with this game. It could be a complete blowout. But it just the line of 43.5, and we talk about it. Thursday football is usually a good time to place the unders, but we're talking about how explosive Buffalo can be. 43.5, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. Something's not computing with how my brain works with this. I do want to give one quick shout out over here to our sponsors, Better Vision. Make sure you download the app if you have the Apple phone. They're going to get the one set up for Android soon. It's the engineers just been really busy over there working out all the kinks and so forth. So no problems with that. If you have an Apple, go get it. You'll be able, because I've used 3 different books to make a bet. I've made 3 different books to make a bet. Just taking advantage of that little bit of a -115 compared to a -120. Okay, Evan and I stress that all the time. You can get more than one book. Take advantage of it. All right. Better Vision, you get to see all your bets right there under one app, plus your fantasy football teams going on tonight. So make sure you download that app and use it. And of course, the Fantasy Football Advice Network, Evan and I, as well as other sports affiliation members going out there putting out bets, looking at your lineups, taking direct questions from your Fantasy Football Advice Network, as well as Kyle, Tyler, all the guys over there. So go download that app as well and come join us over there. All right, Evan. Do you have one more bet on this game? Or do you have another couple bets, or what do you have on this game left?
Yeah, man, like you said about, the way it should go, the more I dug into this game, the more I realized that the Buccaneers offense is really bad at scoring points. Really bad. They've done a little better against teams that they can exploit, but not really. They don't put a lot of points on the board. They've also been able to withstand giving up touchdowns, which I just don't think will happen tonight with Buffalo. If Buffalo can capitalize in that red zone and get early touchdowns instead of early field goals, then you force a team that can't run the ball either into passing. I think that's why it could be a long night. Like, I love plus money, but Baker throwing 2 touchdowns, I don't know, man. I don't know if this Buccaneers team's going to score more than 1 touchdown tonight. And when I look at the Bills' defense, it's been exploited when they play guys like Breece Hall, Travis Etienne. Even Saquon had a good night yards-wise when you look at that, but he still was under 4 yards a carry. Rashad White is only averaging 3.2 yards a carry. Like, I think they'll be able to bottle that up, even though their pass defense is overall, a little banged up, like you said, but consistently as a team, they're able to do it. And it's against a team that's not very good offensively. So that's why I like Buffalo tonight, but I've rode this play for a few weeks, and I had this circled as a good matchup game originally for Rashad White because of the run defense, but I'm going back to it. I'm going Rashad White under 48.5. It's been hitting. I still like it. My one concern is that Buffalo can be susceptible to the run, but the Bucs aren't a good running team. So I'm going to just favor that defense more. And I'm also going to favor in what I see as the Bills jumping out to an early lead, that he just won't get the volume that it takes. I know everybody wants to exploit the Bills. Like, hey, let's get Rashad White 17 to 20 carries this week. I don't know if they're going to be in the position to give him that volume. He gets that volume, it's probably going to hit that number, because 20 carries, you only need 2.5 yards a carry. I don't know if he's able to get to that. They fall behind, and I think we saw White get 6 catches last week. I think they need to utilize him in the passing game to offset that pass rush. So if you're looking at Rachaad White, the receptions and reception yardage to me is more of a play to look at. I think he's plus money on his receptions, but give me the under. I'm going to stick true. I've been good at hitting an under the last few weeks. I was a little scared to call it because of the number, but I'm going Rachaad White under 48.5.
Yeah, you got to have an under in there to keep yourself true. Difficult to do, and I feel like there's always money on the unders just as much as the overs. You know, it's, I go back to Kenny Rogers. Every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, man. It doesn't really matter. Somebody's going to get that other end of that hook, even if it gets right to it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, great call. Do you have anything else on this game if you'd like to talk about it? Or how about this? I was going to ask you, because my friend Joe Pepe, you know, we worked with Joe Pepe. We love the guy. They have the squares, man. I haven't done one yet this year, but everything indicates to me with what the algorithms are saying and what you're saying that Buffalo Bills 7, Tampa Bay 0 at the end of any quarter. It could be 17-10. It could be 17-0. It could be 7-0. But that right now is at plus 255. You think that's worth it? I mean, because I know if you're not familiar with squares, how it is, you take the last number from one team and the last number from the other team, and then you normally graph it out, old school. Everybody puts in, let's say $1, and then you get like all those, 0 through 9, 0 through 9, 0 through 9. DraftKings has kind of done it. They have a 0 for 240. Tampa Bay 3, Buffalo 0, 380. Buffalo 3, Tampa Bay 0, 400. Buffalo 7, Tampa Bay 3, 450. But I think Buffalo can go out and get a first quarter touchdown and Tampa Bay not score. Doesn't that seem like the most likely possibility?
I like that. I also like the 0-0 in the fact that Buffalo gets a field goal and a touchdown in the first quarter. Like I could see them stalling out on a drive and not scoring any points or getting the field goal and then getting that touchdown and being able to keep the Bucs down. So, man, 2 scores though,
I mean, it could be any quarter. I mean, so 0.
Yeah, any quarter. I mean, so first quarter 10-0, 7-0 seem pretty even, I guess, which I think they are based on that too. The rest of the game, you've got 17-10. You'd have to have like 20-0 or 20-10. There's more opportunity for 7-0 throughout the game.
I think so too.
If you're talking about just the first quarter, yeah, it could be 10-0, but I think there's more opportunity because even if the Bucs do score, 27-20, 17-10, 27-10, the 7-0, 17-0. Yeah, I would say, yeah, go 7-0 is a nice play there. More opportunity there.
Okay. I'm putting 0.2 a unit on it. We're going with our live bet. Doing something different, completely random. No, nothing you can do about it other than speculate, okay? Got the Lakers flash. I saw that. Big game for the Lakers tonight.
Can't go 0-2 tonight. I mean, I'll give that one. I took AD the other night on a 3-pointer. I'll give you 2 NBA plays for the Lakers tonight. Anthony Davis, I'm going to take him to hit a 3-pointer every game till they change that line. We're 1 for 1, over 0.5 3-pointers made. Darvin Ham said he would take 5 or 6 a game. I think he only took 2 or 3 last game, but he also disappeared after about
he got gas.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
They're not playing the Nuggets every night, so that's good. They because it looked like Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. It looked just like just like the other 4 games. It wasn't fun to watch, man. Every time they got back in the game, the Nuggets just took it to them. The Nuggets are so good. Yeah, AD over a 3-pointer made tonight. And I'm going to take AD's points, man, 22.5. He had 17 in the first half. AD's the kind of guy that when he disappears, he comes back and does work. I think the Suns are a good matchup for that. 22.5 points for AD. He's got to be that guy tonight. They got LeBron on a minutes restriction at about 25 to 30 minutes. I don't think Ham's going to overextend that at all for any reason. So, and it's not Denver. Maybe Denver's just traumatized AD. I don't know, but over 22.5. So I'll give you those 2 NBA plays tonight, a unit on both those guys.
I want to look at something real quick because I'm a rebound guy. That's my line. That's my
12.5, I think, for AD.
God, Lord. What's Jokic? That's what I really want to see.
Yeah, I looked at AD right away thinking he'll
You
get out.
said Nurkic 8.5 rebounds. We're taking that right now.
Oh yeah, the Lakers they're going to win the game, but they're lazy at times, man. 8.5. Nurkic, man,
Well, dude, Nurkic had that in the first half last game. Granted it's Golden State, but still, Looney had 2 boards at halftime, and we
bro.
both made that bet, and he got it back. But like Nurkic is there to rebound and kick the ball back out to Booker, Kevin Durant. Like that is his whole premise of who he is. Which Aiden didn't want to do that. Aiden wanted to be the guy. And I get it. He should be. He was the first overall pick, right?
No Booker tonight too. So, more missed shots probably as well. I mean, does the offense look as good for Phoenix? Yeah, I love that, man. I mean, Looney, did you have him at 9.5 or 10.5?
I had him at 9.5. That's what the line was whenever I played.
It was. Right before the game, I was going to take it, and it bumped up to 10.5, and I was like, man, and I took it. This guy got his 12th rebound with 5 seconds left in the game, dude. The last shot, bro, he got a rebound. I had him and Durant over 7.5 on a nice little 2-leg. So,
oh, nice, dude. Yeah, dude, that last rebound, it's something. And then you have the opposite, like Jonas, I guess it's Giannis Valanciunas. He was on. I listened to that game. He was grabbing everything. But I've had him have like 10 rebounds in the first half, and miraculously not get a rebound in the entire second half. So you got to watch that sometimes. But I do love the rebounding bet because I think it becomes instinctive. I think I've only seen like 2 players run away from a rebound in my life of watching basketball. So, we don't want that to happen. But, yeah, that's my bet. Wrapping it up, I'm going to go Nurkic. And I got LeBron, a small 0.2 unit bet on the boost. I got it boosted over. I know the minute restrictions was there. Maybe he had to score more last game due to Anthony Davis just turning into a JV player, but it's at 19.5 points. Home court. He's on a minutes restriction, but I don't know that the Suns have anybody that can defend him in that mid-range game that LeBron likes to shoot sometimes. So I think it's going to be there. Maybe he makes a couple threes and makes this a little easier. So Nurkic over 8.5 boards, Braun over 19.5 points, man. You got anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, I mean, 25 plus minutes, LeBron 20 points. I mean, there's not many better bets to take if you're going to take a bet on a guy that's a scoring machine, scoring leader in NBA history, and looks like he's still 25 years old out there.
He looked way better in shape than anybody else on that team. I mean, he was moving way more than anybody else on that team, man.
The offseason reports, were that he really was in there. I mean, cooking away, and they say that, but it was talking about him doing that 4 a.m., 3-4, like that Kobe style setup, and we know how that work ethic was, and it looks like it, man. I mean, he is going on 40 years old, so he's got to take care of that body, and he's done it well. It's really amazing. I know you and I are Lakers or not, we are LeBron guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard not to be. But no, man, I mean, shout out to Better Vision again one more time. I mean, couldn't do it without you guys. If you don't have the app, go and get it. It's worth having for fantasy, for betting, whatever it is. Even if you're just getting into that stuff, you can still see it all in one place. So definitely grab that. And if you're a fantasy player for fantasy football, get on that Fantasy Football Advice Network. People ask questions, give advice, lineups, plays. And they've got shows going all the time too. So I'm excited for the week to start. I'm excited to hop back on tomorrow and continue this NBA conversation too, man. So pleasure as always, Iggy.
Yeah, man. Always like chopping it up with you. I'm always in a better mood after I hit some big bets, So that college football and MLB, man, it drug me down. But I do have a Rangers World Series final I placed when they were up 2 games against Houston. So it's not I didn't get the best thought. I probably should have waited until they lost to. But I got the Rangers, and I actually parlayed that with the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So that's like a plus, I think 3,900. Not crazy when you think about winning a championship. A pretty good payout for a free bet, I'll tell you that. And so we got a lot of good sports coming around. This is an amazing time of the year, in my opinion. We really appreciate you taking your time out and enjoying your lunch with us, or if you're catching us later. We really do appreciate you being with us. Hey, remember, we got the Thursday check down with Hall of Famer Greg Kellogg, our guy over here at the Sports Affiliation. I'll be on there as well. We'll tip. So 2 Houston guys down there. And then our guest, none other than Fantasy Alarm, where you can catch my basketball best bets. Cooper, man. Andrew Cooper's going to be coming on, my fellow flag football teammate as well at the Expo. So he's a big tight end guy, just like Evan. So if you he's known as the tight end whisperer, so to speak. So if you like tight ends, make sure you come check out this show. And we've been pretty on with the forced thing of Greg making us pick a player, a stud to sit. I never really liked doing that, but Greg's just brought it to my attention. And hey, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. He says it's just because he was consistent and started before everybody. If you buy that, come check out this oceanfront property I got in Colorado, baby. You'll love it. All right. All right, Evan. Let's be lucky tonight. Bet smart. Let's keep building these units. Evan's already got plus 10 units. So if you hit plus 10 units, go ahead and make a withdrawal if you want. It's about putting money back in, not just constantly giving it to the sports books. Okay. All right, guys. We love y'all. Thank y'all. We'll see you soon. Later.